time for my second panel, late debate host Caleb Bond and Sky News contributor Gary Hardgrave in Brisbane. Gentlemen, let's start with Anthony Albanese. He's revealed the one thing he'd ban, God forbid, if he ever became dictator. Have a listen.
If I could do something, maybe ban social media would be handy. Because
Why? What worries you about social media?
Look, I think a couple of things. One is keyboard warriors who can anonymously say anything at all and without any fear, the sort of things that they would never say to you face to face.
Caleb, really? I mean, he wants to ban the digital public square where people now get their news and discuss topics. That's not... Of all the things as a dictator you could address, that's his number one priority?
Well, that is the number one thing to do if you're a dictator, because, of course, if you're a dictator, like our friends in North Korea, etc., you don't allow people to have free expression. But Albanese, knowing that he isn't the dictator he would like to be, not being able to actually achieve this, is going to do the second best thing anyway, and that's bring in these misinformation laws. If you can't ban social media, then you'll just control what can and cannot be posted on it on the basis of what you deem to be, through ACMA, a government body, misinformation. It's just about the same thing, really.
Yeah, that's not a bad point. Gary, if you were dictator, what would you ban? Oh.
We would actually be a far better society if we actually had government doing less for us instead of thinking that we're fully beholden to them. But this is Albo's vision. This is the journey he wants to take us on. And poor old Venezuela gets named, North Korea gets named. They all would blush at the sort of nonsense this bloke's on about. He doesn't even read the documents involved in running the country. Been too much information for him, so therefore, you know, none of us should ever have any information. Nothing to see here,
Gary.
folks. I'm Albo. Love me.
26 pages. You don't expect him to sit down and read 26 pages before taking the country to a referendum.
He's on those... But he's on so many overseas trips. Surely, what does he actually do at 40,000 feet in the Prime Ministerial suite on the Boeing that he's on? I mean, I've sat in that thing. It's a nice room. You know, Albo, you can actually take papers with you and do something productive. He's certainly not tweeting, because he'd have to give himself the metaphoric uppercut because he's going on to social media. Gee, I wished he'd stay off it.
Now, Sydney City Council wants to drop the speed limit on local roads to 30 kilometres an hour. I mean, you might as well just, you know, walk briskly. They're calling for feedback. Caleb, do you want to give them some feedback?
Well, that is the point, isn't it? You may as well just walk, because it would be damn well faster. And you drive around Sydney, you drive around Melbourne, and we've both spent a lot of time in both of those cities. It is replete with these bloody bike lanes that no one uses. I mean, you could stand in the middle of any bike lane in the middle of the Sydney or Melbourne CBD and fire a gun down it at 5 p.m. any day of the week, and there's no one there. It's a war on motorists. But the thing is, we are a very big country. You're never, ever going to expunge the car, no matter how hard the social engineering numpties like Clover Moore, the Lord Mayor of Sydney, might try.
Gary, this does seem to be a anti-car policy. They might dress it up as safety or environmental issues, but really they don't want to have cars in the CBD. We've seen similar measures in Melbourne, and it's destroying the CBD. It's dead.
Yeah, look, no doubt about it. And look, I must say on a personal note, my great-great-grandmother was killed in 1912 when she was daring to cross Broadway in Sydney. A car backfired and a Tooth brewery wagon, sorry to Tooth, but that's the story, ran her over. She was run over by a horse and cart. But, you know, it's a true story. One of the first road fatalities in Australia was my great-great-grandmother. So I feel very strongly that cars and people don't mix. But look, in all seriousness, Clover Moore's idea of better plumbing facilities in the middle of the city is, in fact, to get plumbers on bikes. Can you imagine that? A spare toilet on the back of a bike? That, seriously, is what they're saying to the plumbers in New South Wales. We need better plumbing services in the inner city. We should need them on bikes. This woman is bonkers, but they keep electing her. They keep electing her.
They keep electing her. So that tells you perhaps the residents want these sort of crazy policies, and if they want to see the inner city slowly die, then they can keep voting for her. Gary Hargrave, Caleb Bond, thank you so much for your time tonight.